Pickaxe.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
Hear that? That's now Crispy and McCrispy strips meeting Creamy Caesar sauce. Sounds extra crispy. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey y'all, it's time for Rolling Dice and Taking Names. In this episode, the guys recap their trip to Las Vegas for the Star Wars Unlimited Galactic Championship and Marty's trip to the Southern Fried Gaming Expo. And also, in Quick Hits, we'll hear about 1775 Rebellion, Las Vegas, and Ash's Ascendency. Plus, get a full review of the hidden movement game, Hunt for Blackbeard.
Hello and welcome to Rolling Dice and Taking Names. This is episode 383, Viva Las Vegas. My name is Marty.
I'm Tony.
Aha, we tricked you guys. See, typically we do artists who have passed away, but we all know Elvis isn't dead.
Oh my goodness. Enough. Heard enough conspiracy theories. No, please stop it. He's dead. He's been long since that. I got a newspaper that says so. I got one that says Elvis is dead from when it happened, sitting up in a special protective cover. So
nice.
if he's alive, then I might as well go ahead and use that as a fire starter.
I wonder if there's any value to that.
Some newspapers, yes. I don't think. Did she have the one where it's the first man on the moon? Her mother worked for a paper, so they collected a lot of the big headlines. I'll have to go check. I don't think so.
Boy, I remember a couple years after it happens when the conspiracy theories started happening. I don't think it was like right after, was it? I mean, it was like a little time had passed after his funeral. Then it was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he's not.
Well, he died in the 70s, didn't he?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So 70s. I was a young kid doing the hard stuff. Real Pop Tarts. Real sweet tarts.
Where is this going? Oh, yeah. I missed that hard stuff. All right. So, Viva Las Vegas. Why? Because, Tony, you and I got to go to the Star Wars Unlimited Galactic Championships in Las Vegas. My second time going, your first time going. We went there not as the main competitors. No, we went there just to have some fun, enjoy some side events. I ran a trivia panel. And it was just a weekend full of, I think I counted, it was 15 to 20 games of SWU that I played over the weekend.
Yeah, there was
maybe even more.
I lost count. I just know that we were the scrimmage team. we were not the main team. We were not the primetime team. We were not the pro team. We were the scrimmage team. We were the single A baseball team. That's what we were. Where I was.
Rookie.
I was 1 in 14 or whatever. So yes.
Oh, it was a fun event. It was thousands of people gathered in Las Vegas for basically the World Championships from all over the world. What they did have is you weren't playing in the main championship. There were all these side events that you could join up and play. Tony, I think the first day that we played, we joined an event that was a draft. It was a 6-round draft where you did a draft, played 3 rounds, did another draft, played another 3 rounds. And I think that was the format we played the most of. We did play one sealed event. Sealed events where you're given 6 packs, you build decks, and then you play from there. But I really enjoyed those.
Well, and it makes sense why draft events are so much more popular. And it's basically everybody is vying for points so they can get the special cards that are being brought to the show by Fantasy Flight. We want these showcases, which are special leader cards, and these people are wanting them. And so by doing the draft, you're able to play very quickly, get back in line, spend yourself another, I think it was $15 to earn a potential, which was really cool, 700 points to work towards the 2,000 points to get the showcase. And people were very cool about that, where it was like, is everybody here just going to split the points? Okay, then you can join our little pod. If you weren't, we'll talk to you later. And you and I were always like, heck yeah, because we ain't going to win. So we there for the splitting the points.
I'm either walking away with 400 if we competitively play or guaranteed 700. I'll take the guaranteed 700 every time. So yeah, these are prize wall points because, as you said, there is a wall full of goodies, showcases and mats and special tokens and stuff that you can go turn in your tickets for or prize points for in order to earn these awards. And some of these are some pretty valuable cards. And I got to say, as much as I enjoyed the game, I think the biggest highlight for me was just the community. Like you said, everybody was just so cool. It wasn't these side events. It was like, hey, we're just here to have fun. Let's split the points, have some laughs, have some good times. People help each other out. People who are maybe knocked out of the main tournament are now playing in these side events, and they're quick to give you advice on how to play the game. It kind of reinvigorated my interest in the game, not because of the game itself, but because of how cool everybody was. And we have some really cool people here in the local community that are the same way. And it's just fun being a part of that.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Scotty. We were standing in line. He goes, "You're Tony. You're Marty. Hey, I listen to you guys." And we're like, "Oh, okay, thanks." So Scotty, thank you so much for saying hello. We really did appreciate that. Well, good. I figured what would have really invigorated you was the new release they mentioned, Homeworlds, where they're going to the next expansion is going to allow you to, for those who don't play Star Wars Unlimited, you're battling over bases versus trying to take out each other's big hero health like you do in Magic. But the bases, they're going to allow you to fortify the bases with cards that when someone comes, don't know what they all do, but possibly they could do damage to that person hitting the base. So it makes you change how some of your tactics may come out.
Mm-hmm. And also, typically in these games, all you need to do is pick a color of the base that you're going to play. Most of them are 30 points of health. Some of them have special abilities, some maybe a little bit less. But it didn't matter. Let's say, for example, I wanted a red base. It didn't matter which 30-point red base I use. Now it does, because in Homeworlds, each of these bases represent planets like Coruscant, Tatooine, etc. Indoor. Now there are going to be cards that come out and go, oh, by the way, if the base that you're playing happens to be indoor and you're playing this cute little Ewok, it may have a bonus of, if you're playing it indoor, you get a bonus. So it just adds some extra deck building elements that I'm excited about.
And it's a good thing I know some of the bases, and I was sitting there because if you had said etc. and then you followed up with another Homeworld, I might have thought there was a Star Wars base called etc. I mean, you had it rolling there. It was pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, it was a very interesting event. We got to meet a board game artist who is now, of course, drawing for the Star Wars. And I'm going to screw it up because we played a game. Oh, my gosh. What was it? I'm sorry. I got Vincent Dutray.
Vincent Dutray. Yeah, who is obviously an extremely famous board game artist. But interesting, Tony, in this arena, the competitive TCG arena, a lot of people didn't really pick up on who he was. A lot of people were geeking out over some of the other artists. It's like, but that's Vincent Dutray. And so a lot of people didn't know that he does so much art for board games. So he got picked up by Fantasy Flight, commissioned to do art for them. And what's cool is you could go up and get free autographs. So Tony, you and I got some sweet cards that he did the art for, and went and got those signed and everything. And that was a lot. That was a lot of fun too. There was the whole thing that you got to do of collecting pins. We kind of got into that where, hey, if you get 4 artist autographs, here's a pin. If you visit this booth, get a pin. If you go to a panel, get a pin. And the goal was to collect them all, then get the special pin at the end.
You got to have them all.
Gotta have them all. And we got them all. We both got a set apiece, so that was really cool.
Yes. And then the last thing I'm going to say about this was, I said I was 1-14. It just showed me how I don't know the game. Enjoy playing the game with y'all, but it just shows in a competitive arena, I am not going to be there. I got a pity points in one of the games. It was hilarious. The guy looked at me and says, "You haven't won anything, have you?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Here, have my 500. I don't need it." I'm like, oh my gosh, a pity 500. It was so sad. I felt so bad. I was like, okay, fine. I'll take your pity 500. No, really, you should keep your pity 500. He says, no, this is pathetic. You're old and worthless and weak. Here's 500. Oh my gosh.
Oh, but yeah, all the designers and stuff were there. We got to hang out with them. There's like, okay, we got to tell this story before we move on. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Here's the, okay. Okay, we'll end on that one. Here's the story I'm going to tell. So, all the years I've been playing, I've been playing since day one. I've yet to open a showcase card from a pack. This is the special expensive card. Usually most of them are well over $100. There's one per every so many boxes. I don't know if you remember, it's one or two per case or whatever. I've never opened one, and Tony just keeps opening them left and right. So we're at a content creator event. How many? You've opened 4? Shut up.
Yeah, I've opened 4.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so FFG is there sponsoring a media event, and they pull out a box of boosters and they said, all right, we're going to keep opening booster packs until somebody opens a showcase card. So everybody gets a pack. 3, 2, 1, open. Oh, we didn't get anything. Everybody grab another pack. We kept going and going. I think we were on our second or third box. And they were like, okay, this is the last box we have available to us. So hopefully we find something. We're handing out packs, y'all. I take a pack from the box. I'm holding it. Tony's off away from it. And I go, well, I'm thinking, to keep him from having to walk over here and grab one. Here, Tony, you take the pack. I'll grab another one. 3, 2, 1, open. Tony has the pack that has the showcase.
That's right. But yeah, that was hilarious. I was like, ooh, showcase. Do I need to say something? Maybe we'll get more boxes. No, okay, fine. Boom, I got the showcase.
Oh my gosh. It was in my hand, y'all. And out of generosity of trying to keep my friend from having to walk over and grab a pack, I went and handed it to him. Still haven't opened one. Unbelievable.
Oh, I've opened the one that you got. I opened that pack when we did a draft. It was yours. So technically you have opened one. I just happened to rip the sleeve off of it.
I own one, but you opened it.
Yes.
Okay. So the last thing is, I think I mentioned this last year, but once again, New Kids on the Block. Was it New Kids? Yeah. Was playing at the Sphere.
We stayed at the Backstreet.
Oh, they all in sync. They all sound the same to me. Backstreet Boys were there, who were there on at the Sphere, and we were being hosted in the Venetian, which is right beside the Sphere. So, Tony, last year I told you about the sea of people that wear white to these concerts. Was I exaggerating when I said how insane it was seeing thousands of people every night walking around the casino or heading over to the Sphere?
Oh yeah. It was just, I was like, what in the world? I knew you weren't exaggerating, but you have to feast your eyes on it. You have to be able to take all that in. And I mean, these people, good for them. They really get into it. I even saw a husband shirt that says, I support my wife's Backstreet Boys fetish. I'm like, I don't know if I was like, I don't know if I'd say that one. And we looked up tickets. Lowest price ticket was $370. I was like, oh my gosh.
And these guys are there multiple weekends. It's like, and people from all over, right? I mean, we saw all different nationalities coming from all over the world to come see. I don't get it. And the thing, the demographic was, you would think, this is just going to be a bunch of older people going to see this. No, it was a lot of 20-year-olds. And I'm like, y'all weren't even around when this group was big. How did they maintain that status? I don't know.
They do. And good for those people taking the time and effort to go there to see that. I will say that, when we were there, Marty and I, it was kind of sad. All that great food, though, we did go to one place, Gillies, that really was not that good. And you're expecting good food at Vegas, but the thing that geeked Marty and I out the most was a biscuit. A biscuit. God, it was so good. Oh, that was a good biscuit.
It was a food court of all places at the Venetian. And we went there for a breakfast biscuit. It was just your basic bacon, egg, cheese, sausage, egg, cheese. But they promoted the fact that they used Duke's mayo. Now, for those who don't know, Duke's mayo is a staple of the South. You can only get this mayonnaise, I believe, in the South. And here's a place in Vegas that's promoting it. So it's like, okay, they must have some sort of Southern roots. Y'all, I'm telling you, that's one of, if not the best restaurant biscuit I've ever had. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely amazing. It was soft. It was buttery. Oh, it was so good.
It was amazing. I was like, okay, this is good. We'll go back here next day. And it was just like so good, so good. I was like, man, we need to keep coming back here. Because other than that, I was like, the rest of these places we ate, it was okay. You know, it fed a substance, right?
Yeah. So while the rest of the food wasn't that good, that place was amazing. Oh, the hot chicken place was actually pretty good too. It's funny, the food court was probably our favorite place to go. Fantasy Flight, thank you so much for putting on an amazing event. They've already announced that next year it's actually going to be in May. It's going to be in Anaheim, California next year. So they may have been earlier, which is good because I know a lot of the people at the event was turning around and immediately going to Gen Con right afterwards, and they were kind of stressing out about that. So won't have to worry about that next year. So the next event that I got to go to the next weekend was the Southern Fried Game Exchange, which I've talked about many times on the show. It is an amazing event. I say it every year. It's probably one of my favorite shows of the year. Tony, this year we got to take Mark, one of our gaming friends, went with us, and he said, guess what? This will now be a staple event for me.
Okay, so he enjoyed it. Did he enjoy the video games and arcade games, or just the fact that he was playing board games again?
Oh, no. So that's the best thing about this thing. I was talking to the organizer and he said, we want an event to where if you're a board game, you'll come here and it's like, hey, I'm going to go play some video games and watch some panels. You always have something to do. You're a video gamer, pinball player. It's like, hey, I'm going to take a break and go play some board games and watch some panels. You know, there's always something going on that's, instead of just sitting there playing board games all day or video games all day, you have all this plethora of things to do. Mark actually spent 2 hours sitting at a Sega Genesis console playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
He enjoyed it so much that I convinced him on the last night to buy a Sega Genesis console and a copy of Sonic. So now he's at home playing that. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
I said, you're a retro gamer like us now. So yeah, it was. He got a really good deal on the Genesis console and a good deal on the game. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I didn't know that you could pick up some old consoles there. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, they had a lot of video game vendors there. Of course, you know, the main draw is the old arcade games. Now, I have a beef. Whoever usually brings Robotron did not bring it this year, and I'm really kind of upset about that. So I didn't get to play Robotron at all.
It may be broke. What was the new pinball game?
They had several. A Harry Potter and a Pokemon.
I saw something about a Star Wars, but I guess that wasn't. Maybe that was a couple.
It was a Star Wars Fall of the Empire.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that one looked really cool. And I saw this because I was doing searches for the Looney Tunes one that you and I saw and trying to see how much it was going for now. And I know the premium new edition was around $10,000. I was like, dang, that's still a lot of money for a pinball machine.
Yeah, so I mean, I did all the standard stuff. Went and saw the pepper eating contest, which is always fun. Now, one thing that was different this year that was really cool. They had an open jam session for musicians. So they had a room, had a drum set, 2 guitars, a bass, and a keyboard. And basically, you just come in and join people and jam. Mm-hmm. So on Friday night, they were doing this, and I thought, well, this is kind of neat. So there's some people playing, and I said, well, the keyboard was open, so I went and sat down, and basically somebody comes up and says, hey, let's play this. And they'll pull up a chord chart, and you play the song, and there's people there watching you. Okay, so it was kind of fun. Afterwards, the sound guy came up and said, look, would you come back tomorrow at 5:30, from 5:30 to 7:30, we do this thing where we have a spin the wheel of songs, and the band has like up to 5 minutes to learn the song and play it for the crowd. I said, okay, this is pretty intense.
Okay.
Let's put myself out there and see if I could do this. So I came back next day, and for 2 hours, spinning the wheel, playing songs. Dude, I've played stuff I've never, ever played. I played Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun, which I've never done before. A lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers, Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, Wings, Band on the Run, played The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. I mean, It was just song after song. And basically, they pulled up the chart, and if people didn't know the song, they would play a YouTube version of it so we could kind of hear what it sounds like. And then we quickly try to put it together. And then people would just come up and say, hey, I want to sing this one, or I want to play this one, or I want to play drums on this one. And we were just swapping out members the entire time. It was a blast. And I knew it would happen. I figured it would happen. I said, I swear, Don't Stop Believing is going to come up. And 100% Don't Stop Believing came up. So the guitarist said, well, this is all you. And so I said, well, here's the problem. I haven't played it in many, many, many years, and it was in a different key because the vocalist couldn't sing it in the original key. So I took about 2 minutes to change the keys and get it figured out. But it was a hit because, you know, when we get into that song, people are singing and all that and just having the best time. So I had a total blast doing that. It was fun.
Well, good. I'm glad you were able to do something different than just play video games and board games. So that's excellent. Glad you had fun.
Now, I will say that we did get to play a couple new games there that I was wanting to tell you about. In fact, you might say these are going to be some quick hits.
Okay. I knew it was coming.
Hey, people tend to like the sound effect. I'm just
No,
saying.
one person in our Discord channel liked it. Just one.
All right. So 1775 Rebellion. I have like 2 games from Academy Games that are in this series, like Birth of a Nation, Birth of America. I've got like a Vikings game in 1754. Still in shrink because I thought, this is a hard game. I don't know if I want to learn how to play it. Come to find out, these games aren't that hard. Mark brought a copy of 1775 and taught me how to play. And I was blown away by the simplicity of these rules. There's a 1-page summary of rules on BGG that tells you everything you need to know. The best part about this game is the rules are so simple. The fun in it is the tactical part of trying to win the game. So we played 1775. Somebody plays as it could be up to a 4-player game, but basically somebody takes the side of the Brits, somebody takes the side of the colonists, and basically you try to take control over colonies. If you have control of all the sectors or sections of a state or colony, you take control of that colony. But what's neat is just how simple it is. Hey, on your turn, you're going to, a cube or die is drawn from a bag. It tells you which faction goes. There's 4 factions. Which faction gets to activate this turn? That faction is going to take 4 cubes from the reinforcement pile and put it in any area that they control. You have hand of cards. Everything's driven by cards. You have 3 cards. You must play 1 movement card. Movement card will tell you can move by land, move by sea, how many units you can move. You move into an area where somebody is, you do battle. What I like about how simple the combat is, because it's set up, the defender has the initiative, meaning they get to roll their dice first. And the dice can have 1 of 3 results. 1 is a hit, causing the opponent to remove 1 of their cubes, making them have less dice they can roll. The number of cubes you have in there is the number of dice that you can roll. The bad one is a flee one. Flee means, hey, guess what? One of your guys just turned tail and ran. And he runs to there's a box on the board called the flee box or fled, and it goes in there. And the other one is a blank die, which means you have the choice. If you want to retreat, you can. Now, after you've resolved, the attacker resolves, and it's going to go back and forth till both each other wipe each other out, or there's only one person left, and they take that area. And basically draw cards back up, and then you go again. So the game triggers. It could go 8 rounds, but it could end before then because everybody has a special card in their deck called the Truce card, which is an uber powerful card that allows you to make a bunch of movements. If one side has played all their truce cards, or each faction's played their truce card from one side, at the end of the round, after round 3, whoever has the most control points wins. If not, you reset and go again. So there's a clock. So when I was playing against Mark, he's got 1 truce card on the board. I'm like, oh crap. If he plays another truce card, right now I'm behind. So I've got to be super aggressive in trying to take control spots away from him so he can't win the game this round. But it's so brilliant about how easy it is. I mean, I just told you that's the entire rule set. You could sit and play right now. So it's all about these tactical decisions in the area control game.
So of all the military games that you've played recently, where did it fall in the stack of wanting to play again?
Okay. Way up, because it's a full game. A lot of the 2-player games we play are really short, little board. Rules are simple, yes, but this is an in-depth game that's going to take 60 to 90 minutes. So you're investing in time in it. You've got a big board. Oh, one thing that's kind of cool. I told you when the guys flee, that's bad, but you get them back because in your next reinforcement phase for that faction, you get to take 4 cubes from your supply plus whoever fled. So if you had really unlucky rolls and a lot of your guys ran away, they're all coming back next time you get to activate.
Okay.
So it's basically, I'm going to be taking the shrink off these other versions that I got. Like we just went and watched Young Washington, and 1754 is based on the French Indian War, which is the movie's based on. So I'm going to open that one up and give it a shot.
Okay.
I also have one like 858 or 838, which is Vikings.
Yes.
They're all based on this same system.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the thing is, because your son-in-law likes historical games, I tell you, this is a good one to try because it's so simple. But not simple to play. The rules are very simple.
Yeah, he really enjoyed Lincoln. So, yeah, okay. But he also likes fast teaches like this one. So as long as I can get it to him in under 3 minutes, basic concepts, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like I said, this one-page rule sheet I'm looking at, it's like, it even tells you the setup at the top of the sheet. It's that
nice.
And setup. I mean, on the board, it tells you how to pre-populate each sector with cubes. It tells you which ones to put in each one. You don't even have to reference the rule book. So that was the first one. All right. So the next one is Las Vegas.
You'll wake me up. You're waking me up with that.
That's what I'm supposed to do is keep you awake.
Okay.
It's from the new version of Las Vegas from Ravensburger. Have you played this?
No.
Have you ever played? You never played Las Vegas?
No.
All right. Super fun, quick game. Got a hand of dice. You got casinos out on the table, numbered 1 through 6. You're going to roll your dice. You will pick one number from your rolled dice and assign all the dice of that value to that casino. So if I roll a handful of dice and there's three threes and 2 twos, I could pick either the 3s or the 2s to put on the casino. My turn's over. Keeps going around and around the table till everybody's done. Then you're going to be awarded money if you win that casino. So you go to the first casino with a pip value of 1. All the players who contributed the same number of dice eliminated. That's right. If you're in a tie for first with somebody else with 3 dice and you have 3 dice, both of you are gone, and whoever else is there will win money. Because each casino is assigned 2 random values of dollar bills at the beginning of the round, and first place gets the highest value, second place gets the second one. Evaluate each of the casinos. Play 3 rounds. First person the person most money wins. It is that straightforward, and it is an absolute blast.
I read the rules when we were in Vegas, so yeah, I remember that. So okay, so quick hit. I like that. Make it quick. Yeah.
Well, now the thing is though, this does have changes from the original because as I was playing with people, they said this is not like the same game that I used to play. Here's the difference if you've played Vegas. It now supports up to 6 players instead of 5. Each player now gets 7 dice instead of 8. And there is a big die that's included. When you assign the big die counts as 2. So when you go to see how many dice you've placed, every big die that's on the casino now counts as a value of 2, which could help possibly break ties and everything. Also, each casino now always contains 2 money cards. Previously, the amount had to be at least $50,000. So you kept adding cards until it was $50,000. Now it's just whatever the 2 bills are. Those changes are supposed to streamline it a little bit. Now, some people who may like the classic one, maybe you don't like those changes, but this is one of those things that next time I get with my family, 100% I'm bringing it out. It's good. So that's a brand new version of Vegas from Las Vegas from Ravensburger. I won't hit the sound effect again. So we were big fans of Ashes Ascendency. Ashes. Hold
on. Where is this we?
You weren't a fan of Ashes?
Not Ashes Ascendency, but as I look back at all the stuff we played in Ashes, I thought, it was okay. But, I got out of it after the very first. It didn't jive with me. I wasn't a big fan of it. No.
I was a big fan of Ashes.
Yes, you were.
And I had everything, played a lot. So they've kind of retooled it a couple times. There was first Ashes Reborn. Now there's Ashes Ascendancy. And I got a copy of the Natural Magic expansion, which includes 2 player decks, plus a deck you can play solo against, which is kind of neat. So you're playing like head-to-head against this other deck. I brought it, and Mark and I played the co-op version of the game, which is called Red Rain, where each of us are playing decks against a main baddie. The co-op version's really nice. The game, again, I'm not going to go into how it works, but you roll your dice, you spin your dice, etc. I will say that one thing I forgot is how wordy Ashes cards can get, like abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And after playing Star Wars Unlimited, where everything is so concise, where everything is really dictated by a keyword and maybe a few other words, understanding a card is very simple. there are some Ashes cards with like a paragraph of text you have to figure out. And that was like, oh, geez, I forgot. Yeah, some of these cards can be super complicated.
If people are still into Ashes, are you recommending fully?
Oh, yeah. If you're still into Ashes, they have the new Ashes Ascendency set. If you've never played Ashes, that's how you would jump into it. Now they're going to start releasing these expansions. This is one with the 2 decks plus a solo. They're going to come out with another expansion later, and it's based on the type of dice. So this is like the blue dice, the magic dice. I still have all my Ashes. I don't know if I ever play like head-to-head with somebody, but co-op is still really good. And the last thing we got to do there, we got to play the new Twin Suns decks. We didn't get to play Twin Suns in Vegas, but we got to play them here. And those pre-con decks are pretty flipping good.
Are they? Okay.
Yep.
And now you can deconstruct them and put them in with your other cards.
How about no? Because number one, you can't use Twin Suns cards in regular decks. You can use Twin Suns cards in other Twin Suns decks.
Okay. But you can build Twin Suns decks from your regular cards, but you cannot use Twin Suns pre-constructed cards into a Twin Suns deck. Got it.
Correct. The set name on the bottom of the card is TS for Twin Suns. Those cannot be included in competitive decks.
Okay.
So that's how they differentiate. But I will say that if you want to play Twin Suns, this is a good way to do it. Twin Suns is like the Commander version of Magic. Plays up to 4 players. Kind of a free-for-all thing. Plays a little bit quicker because once one player is eliminated, the round will end at the end of that, and whoever's taking the least amount of damage will actually win the game. So it's fun. We'll have to get the decks together and play again. I won't disassemble those decks because they're really good. And they also announced in Vegas that next year, 2 of the sets are going to come out with some additional Twin Suns pre-con. So it seems that format was really popular, and there was a lot of people playing Twin Suns in Vegas.
Oh yeah, Twin Suns. I enjoy Twin Suns. I enjoy playing Twin Suns. I like it. It's to me, it's very fast and a lot faster than sometimes. Well, maybe not as fast as normal Star Wars Unlimited sets, especially when I play. But I just find that they were. It was definitely more enjoyable than playing Commander. Blasphemy, I know, but guess what? It is to me.
It definitely doesn't drag as much as Commander, because in Commander, one player's eliminated. You keep going till there's only one left. This eliminates that, which is really cool. So anyway, so there's a bunch of the new stuff that I got to try at Southern Fried Game Exchange. Again, highly recommended. In middle of July next year, because of all the traveling, Tony, we only have really one game to review, a game that we took to Vegas and played. But it's one that we really enjoyed, and it's from one of our favorite historical designers. That's next. Thank you for listening to...
If any of these games sound entertaining to you, then obviously you didn't listen to Rolling Dice and Taking Names, but head over to Miniature Market using our link. I'm kidding.
Wow,
head over
harsh.
MiniatureMarket.com. They got the games. They got the deals. They got the sales. They got the newsletter. They got it all. They got the inserts. They've got the dice. They've got the paint. They've got... If you need something in the board gaming, RPG, miniature models, just save yourself some time. Don't deal with all of Amazon and their sponsored links and all that crap. Just go to Miniature Market. See what they've got. The prices are going to be similar. And if you get to the $100 mark, free shipping, which is actually, based on when you buy games, it's probably a lot cheaper than paying for Amazon Prime, unless you order everything through Amazon Prime, like my daughter does. So therefore, that's not going anywhere soon. But MiniatureMarket.com, I'm going to go ahead and say it, for all your gaming needs. So what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas unless you are the game Hunt for Blackbeard. You come home in the suitcase, because this game, designed by Volka Runke from Fort Circle Games. Marty and I got to play it once we were done with our Star Wars, and we needed something to cleanse. We needed something light, something very relaxing to do in the hotel room. And it hits close to home for you and I, because this is in our backyard. Not really in our backyard. It's over on the coast a little bit, down over there off of the Outer Banks. But, the Hunt for Blackbeard. A lot of legends, a lot of stories. So I was intrigued to be playing this. It's
a hidden movement game. Blackbeard could be out there doing some piracy acts, Blackbeard may be out there spending the money he made from doing those acts, except that his movements are a secret, and the hunters are trying to find out, where is he right now? Where's he been? Let me go ask some informants and see if they know. Now, I will say that with this game, this is from Fort Circle Games. This was originally going to come out in GMT Games, and I actually backed it. I just checked it. I pledged on P500 in 2019 when it was first announced, because I love the theme. Like you said, we know about Blackbeard. When we were coming up in school, history of North Carolina, we learned all about Blackbeard, one of the more famous pirates around here. And so I was just super excited. And again, Volker Runke is the designer of games like Cuba Libre. He's the father of coin games, which I really, really like. And he's also the father of levy and campaign games from GMT, which I also really enjoy too. But the nice thing about this one, Tony, is that this isn't nearly as a long of a play as those other. I mean, this is a 30-minute game. I think the thing is, though, it's a 30-minute learn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a two-player game only.
Yes.
One person is Blackbeard, the other person is hunting for him. Place your people, your crew, to go achieve certain things, and they can only achieve those based on where the ship is. And then when you are hunting for him, well, okay, there's this guy moving along land, and the ships can only do certain things in this port. And then when they move, you've got to take into account the various passageways that they're going to follow on these passageways, how much they can move. But I did love, Marty, was the commitment of either Blackbeard's crew, which are the meeples, to accomplish things, or when you were playing as the hunter and you had to place out your informants or your people and how you would commit those. That to me was the whole crux of the game, the whole strategy of the game.
It was somewhat of a worker placement game because each of you have a set amount of pawns that you will dedicate to do different functions over the course of your turn. And you have a hidden screen and with a board behind it, which is where you're kind of planning and doing everything. The main board, as I said, is the coast of North Carolina. And it's a dual layer board where at the beginning of the game, there's little tiles, and most of them are blank that are set up on the board that only Blackbeard can see. He sees one side, the hunter just sees blanks. And when the game starts, Blackbeard replaces one of those blank tiles with this camp in his ship, Adventure. His name of his ship is Adventure. And then from there, you're going to be secretly moving Adventure along to try to complete goals. Because at the beginning of each turn, you're going to draw tiles. And those tiles for Blackbeard will give you the option of you can do acts of piracy or pirate's life. There's 2 tracks that you can take. And only one of them will give you a victory because each tile has a certain number of cubes that need to be assigned to that task. And you decide which way you're going to go first. Unfortunately, the piracy life requires gold, and the only way to probably get gold is to do acts of piracy in order to get that gold as a resource. So you're going to be flipping over these tiles. And Tony, I'm going to say, as you were the first time you played, you were the hunter.
No, I was Blackbeard.
You were Blackbeard. I was the hunter. And so I have these informant tiles where I will tell Tony, turn your head, look away. The informant tile tells you, okay, now you can secretly peek at these blocks on the board in these locations, maybe any town or maybe a waterway. And the number of pawns that you commit to this task, you can peek at each one. So I get to see, maybe I find some information about where they've been, where he is currently, or maybe they're just blanks. And then from then, Tony Blackbeard starts assigning pawns to the task that they're going to try to complete that round.
And then it's Blackbeard's turn. He gets to assign his little crew members to either go out and do their act of piracy or do however he wants to assign them. In order to win this game, I either have to complete half of my plan for piracy activities, or in my pirate life, I have to get half of those cubes filled. So he's going to put his little workers in there so that he can put them on that act. He can also upgrade his ship if he wants to. He can say, oh, I need to go out there and put in some special cannons because he's getting too close to me and I do not want him to capture my ship or capture me, heaven forbid, or even arrest me. And then I've got to manage the map and move. Part of that is sailing. the crew members that I dedicated for my piracy, for some odd reason, they can't help me sell a ship. Okay, that breaks the whole theme of it. The crew members.
Well, no, they're off busy doing something else for you, and you have other crew members which will help you steer the ship.
Yeah, but if I sell the ship out while they're out doing acts of piracy. So anyway, so many of them I can use to therefore sell the ship. Now, here's the crux for Blackbeard. Some of his acts of piracy or pirate's life, they will limit how many of the crew members he can use. And so until you do that, you are restricted to how many pawns that you may be able to sell with or be able to put on the board itself, which can hamper your game. Because this thing's over in 4 rounds.
You mean complete that particular task.
Yes.
And once you complete it, you'll have access to all your pawns again. Yeah, some of them are limiting. And since they're randomly drawn, you just may kind of get, oh, crap, that sucks this time. Because these come out in different things, and each task requires a different number of cubes to be completed. And then here's the thing is, you have to set sail, which means you're going to start changing out the tiles. You're going to start putting tiles on the board where your ship is. And this is where the hunter has to now look away from the board. And you start swapping tiles. And you start sailing, and each segment you sail or move will cost you 1 pawn. Then it comes back to the hunter's turn, and I can start scouting and moving myself. I have access to my pawns. I put pawns on the board. I'm going to move. When I stop, I get to peek at that tile I stopped at. Ooh, did I find you? Oh, darn it. I did not. But I can also look at places that are adjacent to me. Now, there's another tile I didn't talk about, which means a sighting. If Blackbeard went kind of a ways away, every place that he moved through has what's called a sighting tile on it. If I happen to find one of those, I know, oh, he was here at some point in time. And for free, I can continue to scout adjacent areas until I potentially find him. Now, if I don't, then nothing happens. We move on to the next round and repeat this for 4 rounds. But Tony, if I happen to find you, and I happen to be in the same location, we're going to have a whole encounter phase.
And depending on where you find me will determine what type of encounter we have. If you find me on land, you can arrest me. If you find me in the ocean, you can battle me. And then depending on the winners, and now this comes down to pure dice, y'all, and also based on the upgrades I talked about, will determine whether or not the hunter wins. If he can arrest Blackbeard, then the hunter wins. But if it's not an arrest and we go to a battle, then we will battle among our ships. And depending on the hits on that may determine what other effects can happen, such as can Blackbeard escape or can the hunters escape? Because sometimes the hunters don't want to be boarded by Blackbeard. That's a bad thing.
That loses the game.
That's a bad freaking thing.
Here's the thing is, with an encounter, the game can end immediately based upon the results. So you roll these dice, you do battle. Whoever wins what's called the battle has the choice of an option to potentially escape. But if that fails, then somebody's going to possibly board somebody else. And the thing is, though, Tony, this is what took us the longest to figure out, was slowly walking through these dice resolutions, because the result of those initial rolls will dictate the number of dice that you roll on future rolls. There's called a rigging hit, which will reduce the number of dice you can roll to escape. There's a crew hit, which will reduce the number of dice that you roll in case you're boarded. But if you're boarded, there's a good chance the game is going to end right there. And Tony, we found sometimes it's best just to run.
And I think probably when someone plays this game, you might even go through an example before you really start playing. Yep. Of how to do this, how to walk through the tiles that upgrade the ships, understanding what they mean, because we got mucked up in what does it mean to be an escape? What does it mean to have who's supposed to escape? Who controls the escape? Oh, wait, it's the loser from the first turn. And we were going back and forth over this, and I was just like, okay, we'll have to figure this out on the next play. And we did. We did a good job of figuring out next play.
That's what I was saying. It does have a learning curve, and typically these types of games do. But I will say that beyond that, and the fact it took us a long time to learn, once you get it, the gameplay is 30 minutes. It's that I mean, it's literally 4 rounds. It can move super quick. And if you don't have an encounter, it moves even quicker because there's a whole phase you don't even go through. And basically you get to the end after 4 rounds, Blackbeard will reveal his board and show, hey, did I complete my commitment of getting half cubes on this row or half my cubes filled up on this other row? If you did, hey, he wins. If not, hunters win. Mm-hmm. Again, that's why I was saying that the gameplay, once it's understood, flows a lot more. But that first game, there is a learn to play book, and I actually set it up myself and walked through it to try to figure it out. It was the whole dice resolution that took a little while to figure out. And there's some decent examples in the book, but we did have to keep flipping back. Now, what does this mean? Like you said, what's a higging writ? Higging writ. Wow. A rigging hit. What exactly does that do? What do you mean escape? Who escapes? Do you escape? Do I escape? Who has the choice to, it was the encounter phase that really slowed us down.
Yeah. And then there were certain obstacles in line that if you didn't pay attention to them, you needed to make sure that, there was this one that, and that it kind of said, okay, if you're in this situation, the careen sloop may not receive cubes on the same turn that the adventure sails. So that you couldn't put cubes there if the adventure sails. So what that tells you is, all right, I got to pay attention to this, because if I did sail, I can't put any cubes there that help me win the game as Blackbeard.
And those tiles will actually tell you to put cubes here, adventure has to be in this location. It has to be at a cape, or it has to be at a town. And if you're not there, then you've got to get there before you can even start trying to fulfill them. That's why you can't just turtle. You will have to be moving around the board to fulfill these commitments. One thing we didn't mention, you talked about you got to upgrade your ship. The hunters can upgrade their ship too. Their only thing is they can only upgrade in their starting space at the beginning of the game. So a lot of their first turn or second turn is literally trying to get all the upgrades on their ship in case they run across Blackbeard to help with number of dice rolls, to help with hits, etc. But Blackbeard can upgrade at any time. So we did find it's kind of hard for the hunters to win. It feels like it's a tougher game for the hunters.
Yes. But one thing that helps the hunters is when Blackbeard does some piracy, you get to know he did it at that town.
True.
Bath, a town in North Carolina, just got hit by Blackbeard. News is spreading all over the world. Blackbeard's at it again. So we know that Blackbeard was in Bath when he completed that piracy, because you get to see that. You get to see the adventure. It's sitting there. But before you can act on that, we go through the whole resolution. Again, we start at the top because piracy is at the last step, and you start at the top so then Blackbeard can sell again. And so that's that's the balance there.
Yeah. So overall, once I had the game under my belt, I really enjoyed it. It was just the learning curve to get there for such a quick game was kind of surprising to me.
So for me, I think this game is going to take a couple more plays, because I'm really concerned about the speed of the rounds and the limit of the upgrades you can do on a ship. You can only do them as the hunter when you're in port. Well, that gives up a round of your ships going out to sea. You don't have to use them, but you really do hamper yourself when you come across Blackbeard. So that was probably one of the biggest things that I was not fond of in this game, was how that played out. Was the various, hey, you got 12 spaces for upgrades. You'll never use 12 spaces for upgrades. And then we didn't even use some of the upgrades that allowed Blackbeard to have people on land, or even that from the standpoint of the hunters. We pulled some of those cubes out. So there's another portion to this game that we didn't even see.
Yeah, there's an advanced version of the game, and we just played basically the regular version of the game, which gives you access to more things on Blackbeard's tiles to fill out. There's some more requirements that have to be filled out. So anyway, the production, top-notch. Fort Circle Games always does a great job. Thematically, it's really cool what you're doing. I love the theme of the game. The learning curve was kind of crazy, but once we got the flow of the game, especially that second game that we played, it seemed to move a lot quicker. So overall for me, Tony, I'm going to say this is a 7 out of 10 for me.
I'm going to go 6 just because of the hidden movement aspect of it. You know, it's not a logical puzzle. I know that. But it kind of, to me, was that I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what did he do next? And without those hints, then it becomes just, you know, turning over certain tiles, you know, managing your resources to be able to discover where he's at.
All right. That is Hunt for Blackbeard from Circle Fort. Wow. Let's try that again. That's Hunt for Blackbeard from Volcarunca, Fort Circle Games. If you're into, once you get the rules down, a quick 30-minute hide and seek hidden movement game, then you might want to check this one out.
So my understanding is that even though we weren't at Gen Con, there was some action on the floor. We didn't get to experience that action that was going on down in Hall B on Saturday. I hear people were getting drenched. People were stuck in the tunnels of Lucas Oil Field, all because of a major storm that went through Indy on Saturday. And Hall B roof decided, you know what? I'm just giving up here. I'm going to let some water out. We'll let some water down on these people because it was hot in there. They need to cool off. Did you see this?
I saw a video, but I really wasn't sure what it was. Did it perp beist? What is wrong with my English tonight? Did a pipe burst or was it just leaking from the rain?
It was the rain. It rained
Okay.
so freaking hard that, you know, it found ways to get in. Now, Hall B, for those who've never been to Gen Con, is not the main exhibitor hall. It's not where all the vendors are set up where you get to see the flashiest. However, Hall B is where they'll go and do demos or they'll show some of the upcoming games. They'll hold tournaments, things like that. It's where Marty and I go to do we did some of the card games that are played. So it was there. So some of the vendor stuff did get damaged during this. And so that was the big thing about it. But I mean, the biggest concern I think was, you know, you get in those spaces and they were under an active tornado. I think I'll have to check.
I think it was the worst situation, right? It was one-sided?
One-sided. What do you mean?
Was a tornado sighted, or was it just there's a potential of it? I couldn't remember which one it was.
There was a warning. Yeah, not to watch. It was the warning. I see how I screw those up. You're watching for them when you're warning the ones down in the place. So anyway.
I don't know. Was one seen or not? I don't know.
But they did say, can you imagine this? Everybody congregating in the tunnels under Lucas.
Oh my gosh. So y'all, if you've never been there, it's already packed as it is. These tunnels under Lucas are just a constant. Hundreds and hundreds of people cramming. Basically, you're being funneled in through a choke point from a huge arena to another huge arena. So if everybody had to cram in there, that had to be brutal.
And I think it's, you know, for the stadium, they have a whole bunch of them. So maybe they opened up some of the other ones. Possibly. Yeah. I don't know how many are there. But I was thinking, oh my goodness, just that and the heat and the smell. Woo!
I will say that I think for the year that we missed, we picked a good year to miss because there was a ton of construction. Streets were closed. They're still working on that one hotel. Good friend of ours told us that our favorite calzone place is no more.
What? I missed that.
Sauce on the side is gone.
That sucks.
That was our favorite place to go because it was like hardly anybody went there.
No wonder it closed.
Yeah. But what's weird is it's right across from their basketball arena. You'd think it would get really good business.
Man. Oh, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's, you know, I was just like, Donna comes in, she goes, did you see what happened at Gen Con? I go, what are you telling me? You're reading about Gen Con? She goes, well, actually a coworker told me to tell you. And I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, look up Tornado Gen Con. And I did. I was like, holy cow, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, and Saturday's, you know, one of the biggest days.
I heard Thursday was absolutely insane.
Really?
Thursdays are getting so bad because everybody's getting there to try to buy all the hot stuff.
Mm.
Somebody said Thursday was just crazy. So I don't know. It's, you know, funny. I did not have any FOMO. I saw all the pictures and I went, I really don't have any. I miss the strike event. A lot of people were bummed that we weren't doing that. That is a lot of fun to put on for people. So hopefully we can do it again next year. if Old Spaghetti Factory doesn't forget us or is giving our slot away or something like that.
Or closed down.
Why is it always closed down? The place is going to close down every year for you.
Because, I'm sorry, it's just, what happened to the sauce on the side?
Well, nobody went there. People go to the other ones. So,
okay. but 1 week does not make it,
No, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a game that was shown off there. Tony, did you see this? Old One's Origins, the announce of it from Chaosium Games.
So I read your little link here in the show notes, and you know what? I could care less about the theme. I really could.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
So yeah, so it's a what is it? It's a rebranding of
Forbidden Stars, which also came from StarCraft,
mm-hmm.
which is the game that we just fawn over because of the action resolution of stacking tokens on each other and resolving them from top to bottom. StarCraft was one of the earliest games that we played. We loved it. Went out of print. Fantasy Flight then got the rights to Warhammer 40K, so they made a Forbidden Stars version. They lost that IP, so expansions never came out. Well, the designer of Forbidden Stars, Sam Bailey, has hooked up with Chaosium and is going to do basically a Cthulhu-themed game. Oh my gosh, another Lovecraftian game, Cthulhu. Why is it always Cthulhu? Because it's open IP. Guess what? They can't lose the rights to this IP. They can do whatever they want with it because this game mechanics got screwed over twice by not being able to keep the IP. For the original game. So now they haven't got to worry about that anymore. I get that. I would much rather prefer something in space. I think thematically it's cooler with spaceships and stuff like that. I saw some images that's basically fighting on different worlds with beasts, which is what it is. But regardless, I look forward to the gameplay. I have reached out, Tony, to the designer Sam Bailey, and he is willing to come on the show and talk to us about this new design too.
Okay. I will show interest. I will definitely show interest. I will not be poo-poo on his choice because you're right. From an IP, even the minions can use Cthulhu without any issues, right? So in their recent movie release where I am dominating you boys left and right.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, Old One's Origins. I don't know too much about it. We hope to have the guy on designer on the show. Okay. Yeah. So back to the movies. Spider-Man opens to I can't remember if the numbers were adjusted. It's either the second biggest or the number one biggest weekend opening of all time. Put that with the Odyssey, which is going to cross $1 billion worldwide. And this may be the most anybody has ever made from their picks in the history of our game.
Because my Black Horse isn't going to get it with the Paw Patrol Dino, even though I've seen commercials out the yin yang on that one recently. But
that doesn't even count towards the totals anyway. That's a separate thing.
That's a separate thing, so I'll lose that one easily. So I should have picked up Backrooms. Oh well, didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't even. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Spider-Man. I'm going to go see Spider-Man tomorrow night. So, without spoiling anything, what'd you think? Because you went and saw it. Send me a picture of you sitting in the theater by yourself, which I was surprised at, actually.
Well, that's probably because everybody was going to go see either the IMAX or the 3D version. We just did the standard version because that's the time we could go. Okay. And it was open seating, and there was about 10, 15 people in there. Okay, maybe a little bit more than that. But anyway, yeah, there weren't a lot of people. But what did I think of it? As everybody knows on this show, I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man. I even watched the movie. So with that, you can tell it was not that great to me.
Wow! You are the first person to say that. Everybody I know has been raving about it.
If it wasn't for the Punisher, I would definitely say this movie was not worth the money for me.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Here's the reason why.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Well, you've seen all the people that are in it, right? Like who he goes and talks to. You haven't? Okay. Anyway, well, you know the Punisher's in it because it's in a trailer.
Yes. And I know Mark Ruffalo's in it.
And Mark Ruffalo's in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were some things that were in it that related to some of the MCU movies I haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is the one that has the new Black Widow and her dad and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. I've never seen that movie. And there were references, and I had never seen it. So I was lost.
Mm.
And I'm thinking that these MCU movies they need to pull away from that. That's my big take. And when we talk about our summer movies, when our rehash with Dan and Chris, I will point that out, that this needs to be stopped. They need to go back to, hey, not everybody wants to watch your movies. Matter of fact, some people think some of them are steaming.
Yeah, so that's why you might as well not even watch Doomsday. If you're not called up, everybody from every MCU movie is going to be in Doomsday.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new Black Panther. I haven't watched Thunderbolts. I haven't watched the Fantastic Four. I haven't seen any of these.
Yep. So there's no need to see Doomsday because all those characters are in there.
Mm-hmm. I saw that on the trailer. And what is it with 30 minutes before the movie of running commercials and trailers? I have not been to the movies in a very long time, and I was sitting there thinking, damn, I need a pee break before the even freaking movie starts. I'm done with my popcorn.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spider-Man in the opening weekend has already made more than Supergirl and Superman combined for their entire run. That's just how bad DCU movies have just gotten blown away. But
yeah, well, when you go watch it, we won't spoil it, and we'll save it all. You'll get your initial reaction from it in our next episode of what you thought of it, and then during the review with Chris and Dan, and I'll let y'all go fanboy about Supergirl and have battles about that.
Marty won't be fanboying about Supergirl, so you got to worry about that.
I know, but at least from the stand, I have seen some of the movies I said I would stream, so I can talk a little bit about those. But the rest of them, I'm glad that my steaming will stand still, and Spider-Man would actually have not been a screen. Okay, just saying.
Wow. Well, I will say you have easily won. I'll keep running the numbers just to see how bad it is. The only question now is who gets to pick first next year. It's either me or Chris, and it's probably going to be me.
With that, roll some dice
and take some names. Don't forget to go to our website, rolldicetakenames.com. That's where you can find the links to all of our social media stuff, such as Instagram, X, and join our Discord channel. You can always support the show by heading over to buymeamoonpie.com. Any help will be greatly appreciated. We'll see you next episode.
All right, Marty. I was trying to do the theme for Spider-Man for my grandson, and I get through the first verse, and then I blank. It's so sad. Do you know it? Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any side.
Catch a thief.
Just like flies. Look out. Here comes the Spider-Man.
It's the next one.
Uh-huh.
Like arrives just in time.
Like a streak of light, he arrives just in time.
No, it's like a streak of light. No, you're right. That is the end of the verse. Okay, hold on. I gotta look this up now. That's sad because I watched it every afternoon.
Every afternoon.
Is that one of the most iconic theme songs?
Next to Dr. Banner.
Wow. Okay. Izzy Strong, listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there. There goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, flinging hair, Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. I never knew that line.
I didn't either.
Action is his reward. To him, life is a great big bang up. Whenever there's a hang up, you'll find the Spider-Man.